I really cannot express how much time you're wasting just to gain 20 pounds to increase your velocity and seeing yourself start to move slower, feel super restricted, and as a byproduct affect velocity in a negative way. Now, in this video, we're going to discuss why if you're weighing 160 pounds and you're trying to increase your body weight by 20 pounds in about a month, why this will backfire on you. Now, just for reference, we speak to countless athletes every single day. A lot of them have been through the rabbit hole of gaining weight and losing weight, and it always backfires. And it's not because you're just gaining weight or losing weight. It's just because you guys don't really have a process for it. So within this video, we're going to go ahead and discuss that. Now, before we do get started, my name is Anthony Rodriguez, coach and founder of Versatile Athletics. We help athletes from the high school, junior college, Division I, and the professional level, all help them increase their velocity while helping them understand how their bodies naturally prefer to move. With that said, let's go ahead and get right back into the video. Now, here's the common issues with trying to gain so much weight in a very short amount of time. Ideally, the guys who are between 160, 170 trying to gain 20 pounds. Number one, if you're trying to do this within a month, it will more than likely backfire on you because you're more than likely going to go up in fat, right? You're not going to go up in muscular toning. The amount of food that you have to consume, especially the type of food to eat enough calories, unless you're a very easy gainer, but to eat enough calories to even get to that weight is going to be a little bit of the higher end of surplus of what we would like. And this is why athletes start to feel a little bit sluggish. Their recovery kind of falls apart. They start to feel like they're moving slower, and it's because you're going up in fat, right? You can't use fat to turn it into potential energy. Like, this is where all the mass equals gas completely backfires on you. Now, with that said, your muscles, your power, your strength, your speed just absolutely cannot adapt with how quickly you're going up in weight, right? We have to make sure that the relative strength within us, right? Let's say if you're back squatting 2 times your body weight, let's just say for the sake of math purposes, you're weighing 100 pounds and you can back squat 200, right? That's a good relative weight ratio. However, if you're weighing 160 and you're squatting 300 pounds, right? That's relatively good. That's about 1.9. And then you go up to 180 pounds and you stay around the same exact strength, power, level of speed. Like, dude, like, that's why you cannot move as good as you were when you were at a lower weight, because again, you're trying to carry all this weight and your relative power just isn't there. So you're going to move slower and more sluggish. Now, in addition to that, right, your body, your motor preferences just kind of has to relearn how to move with that excessive weight, because it happens in such a short amount of time. And it's even worse for you because it exposes you towards a higher risk of injury. So we definitely want to avoid that. Now, if I was to go ahead and gain weight, or for some of our athletes that are looking to gain weight, exactly what we do for them is the following. You are only allowed to go up in weight 1 to 2 pounds per week. Nothing more. That is a good steady phase in which we can control, right? So that everything is staying relatively similar and our relative strength is also increasing as well. Now, in addition to that, we will also have a tracking system to make sure that they're not overeating, to make sure that we're staying around the 1 to 2 pound weight increase throughout the week. The way that we do that for our athletes is we give them a plan and a way to track it. Oftentimes, a lot of our athletes don't really end up going the tracking route just because it can get a little bit too time consuming and too overwhelming. So we teach them to go, or we help them go up in weight by targeting their behaviors first, right? How often are you eating? What type of food are you eating? Target their behaviors first before we actually go the tracking route. And then we track, for the most part, just the weight on the weekly period, daily, weekly period, to make sure that everything's staying on track. Now, as they're going up in weight, like I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that their relative strength stays somewhat similar. The way that we help them do this is we run them through our metric sheet and we put in their current weight, where they're looking to go, and then we match and see, well, how does that really compare to the strength, power, and speed that we have on the database? That way, if they're going up in weight, but their metrics is staying low, we know that we need to attack those metrics a little bit more direct so that we can help them increase their relative power, speed, and strength to their weight, right? So there is no loss in translation there. Number 4, this one's going to be very important. We want to make sure that they're staying mobile, right? You're going to go through a bulking phase. You're going to be lifting a lot. You're going to be eating a lot. You're going to be feeling you know, whatever it is, yeah, for the most part, you shouldn't be feeling like that. If you do it the way that I'm guiding you on what to do instead, you should be feeling good. But we got to make sure they stay mobile. So what we do for our athletes is we give them a corrective system to correct movement imbalances and just make sure that everything is staying top notch. Now, this is not only about stretching. This is a more systemized way of making sure that they're able to keep their mobility while activating those tissues that are underactive, mobilizing the ones that are overactive, and then integrating it with throughout the full entire body. That way they can use it, and that way it shows up on the mound. Now, number 5 is you want to continue throwing at high intensities. Again, you don't just want to go to the gym, mobility, and then eat. You have to continue to expose your body towards those higher intensities, right? Because that's essentially what we're going to be doing on the mound. You cannot just go up and weigh and then just expect that it's just going to naturally show up on the mound. No, we have to combine those things with specific drills, with specific blocks of high intensity throwing. That way your body's not losing that touch, and that way we're continuing to realigning those muscle fibers in ways that we want to move, right? And I just kind of sit back and hope that everything is going to be great once we're up 15, 20 pounds. That's the worst thing that you can do for yourself. If you're trying to go up in weight and you've actually seen yourself backtracking while you're going up in weight, you're more than likely not following any of the ones that I've mentioned in here. This is more like mathematically for you guys. If you guys want to know what range you should be staying around, grab 2.5 through 3 and multiply that times your height in inches. I'm 5'10", so my height in inches is going to be 70, and then you're going to multiply that times 2.5. That's the lowest pounds that I'll be in. That's about 185. So you should be somewhere in between there. Keep in mind too, we also do help our athletes understand what weight they should be at based on their preferences. Without further ado, hope this helps. If you guys are wanting a more direct approach, book a call with us down below in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.